What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bassin Southwest again. I'm Daniel Peacock. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's nasty outside, as you can see. We got some snow here in northern Arizona, and fishing is going to be out for a few days. So I'm replacing my graphs. The boat came with Humminbird Helix 7s, and I just haven't been impressed by any means. It's the first time I've ever had Humminbirds, and I probably won't go back, although I will say this, Mike Penrod's boat with the mega imaging, that's a different ball game. If you can afford the mega imaging and want to go that route, that stuff's pretty legit. But the 7 inches I got were just the normal side imaging, down imaging, and they weren't that great. I actually had to send my front graph back once, and I'm gonna have to send it back again. The power button has quit working and the view button. So I went ahead and bought me a 9-inch Garmin to replace here. I'm going to get another one in the future. So we're going to walk you through how we go about first removing the old one and installing a new fish finder. So here's my setup so far. You can see we got the Humminbird here, flush mounted in the plastic of the Nitro. It was all linked together, but you can see I've already disconnected on the trolling motor the link, iPilot link that went there. So I got to take this panel off and then disconnect the transducer down here, and basically that's it. There's not a whole lot to it. So we're going to get started on that here in just a second. Alright guys, like I said, first things first, panel of the Nitro has to come off, so I'm going to take out all these screws, pull it off, and I'll show you what it looks like behind there. Alright, so we got the panel off. You can see there's the flush mount. Here's how Humminbird flush mounts. It's just a bracket that attaches like the normal gimbal on the sides, and then these screws here put pressure onto the plate in front of it. So I'm gonna have to, I didn't bring any sockets. If that's really tight, you're obviously gonna need a wrench. When I had this taken out already once because I was trying to sell it, and I ended up having to put it back in so that we could go fishing, because I hadn't got my new fish finder yet. And I'm glad I did, because then I found out it's not working right, the power button not working, and a few other things. So it's on its way back to the factory, should still be under warranty. I think I got this boat January of last year, maybe February, so I should still be right on the edge of warranty. So alright, so you loosen those bolts up, pretty good distance, and then the graph is just gonna pop right out. Okay, you can unhook your power and your transducer, they just pull right out. There you go, got my panel separated. And then if you wanted to, if you look in there, you can see the little knobs. They're just like on your gimbal mounts. You just unscrew those and you can take this plate off and do a traditional gimbal mount. Gimbal, however the hell you say that. So then just 2 wires. My power wires, if we look at them, I didn't do a real permanent install. I just hooked them up and did some electrical tape because I knew it was coming back out anyway. And then the transducer just runs up here through this nifty little spot, and I just taped it up all the way down the shaft. So the only thing I'm gonna have to do now, take the hose clamp off, slide the transducer off, take off all the tape, have the wires. It's probably gonna take me about 5 minutes, I would say, at the most. So hang tight. I'm gonna shoot a little bit of this video and speed it up so that you can see what it's like. Alright, power done. Now transducer. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and take the hose clamp off for the transducer. Makes it a lot easier if you have a little cordless drill, for sure. Alright, and tape. Should have brought a knife. Alright guys, using care not to cut your transducer wire. Just go ahead and cut through all the tape. If I was doing this more permanently, I would definitely be using zip ties, but because I knew I was taking this back up, I just used tape. Made it real easy. Just be careful not to cut your transducer wire. That'd be a bad day. They ain't cheap. Alright guys, that's it. I mean, Hummingbird's out. Empty space. Still got my power wires in there for the next graph. But that was it. I mean, that was a grand total of maybe 10 minutes, and that was getting a knife and all that fun stuff to cut stuff. So that's it. That's out. Now I'm going to go inside, get this all packaged up, and when I'm ready to install the Garmin, we'll get back on the video. Alright guys, we're back in the house, and you can see here I've got my new Garmin Striker 9 side view out of the box, and I got the panel from the Nitro. Now this is not going to fit right away, as we can see. If I can do this with one hand, it fits side to side, but not in this direction. So I'm going to have to get my router out and take some of this out to have it fit nice and flush in there. But on the back of the Garmin, you can see it's pretty easy. You got 4 bolt holes here. There's a ground there for if you're having interference issues. If you hook 2 of them together and your sonar is looking funny, something like that, you can ground your units that way. I don't think I'll need to, but so just 4 bolt holes. I'll have to router the plate from the Nitro, drill 4 little holes, and we should be able to mount it from behind with just some bolts from the hardware store. You know, they make the flush mount kits and all that stuff. Not really necessary in my opinion. I'll probably put a bead of 100% silicone or something like that. Nothing to bond it together, but just to seal it on the behind here, and seal it where the back of the graph meets the plate. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to cut our hole a little bit bigger to flush mount the graph. Okay guys, so I busted the trim router out. I measured the back of the Garmin. Figure I need about a 5.5 inch opening here. So I etched the line, and I'm just going to try to freehand that line, which is tricky, but I'm going to have to do the same thing on my console, and this is the best way I can figure to cut it. So I'm going to practice here and see how she goes. So let's do it. Cool. Not perfect by any means, but I can go back through now and really creep up onto that line and get it just where I need it. That's not bad. Not bad at all. A little stressful when you go cutting into something that costs probably 300 bucks from the factory, but I think we'll be able to make it work. Not quite. So we got a little more to go there, guys. Appears as though side to side we are good. We just need to take a little more out on the spread this way. So we're going to make another pass at it. Alright guys, as you can see, I got us all trimmed up. Not the prettiest line, but not bad for freehanding. And we fit. Again, with the Garmin and having the 7s in there, all I had to do was increase the width this way. It's actually pretty easy. So now we're going to drill us some bolt holes and go to the hardware store and get us some bolts. Hang tight. Okay guys, it's hard to see on here, but you can see I've marked my bolt holes. And all I did was I made an etch around the backside of my plate of the graph itself, and then took measurements to the bolt holes from, you know, from the left in or bottom up, and found the center point of where I think the bolt holes are going to be. Now what else I did is took a slightly larger drill bit than the bolts that are going to be running through, to give myself just a little bit of wiggle room around. And I'll have washers and lock washers on the back to hold it secure. So that's next. We're going to drill some holes. Makes it a little bit easier if you guys have like a brad point bit to get this started. Alright guys, holes drilled. Now it's off to the hardware store with the graph and the plate to try and figure out what size bolts we need, length, threads, all that fun stuff. So we'll be back in just a minute. I got the Garmin all flush mounted. I just went and bought 4 bolts, lock washers that were the right length. Put a couple of washers as spacers there because these bolts were just a hair too long. They were bottoming out before they tightened, so I just doubled up the washers. Got a lock washer. This should stay pretty secure. So now we're going to go put it in the boat. Got the plate here. Got our power wire, transducer, and this is a splitter cable that does your side view and down view. And it comes this way, so that way you can pull this cable through first, and then attach this cable. And you're not trying to pull this big old clunky thing in 2 ends through your boat. So what we're going to do first is attach the power. So the Garmin Strikers come with a 4-wire power cable. What we care about today, red and black. These are for if you're going to link 2 Strikers together or echo maps. One's a send, one's a receive. So these units, even though, guys, I only paid $450 for a 9-inch side imaging, down imaging, normal sonar, linkable. I can draw my own contour maps. I mean, these things are pretty high tech for only being. It was $450. I think they're $600 now. I got them on a sale through Academy, but that's pretty legit for a 9-inch graph. So. And the fact that they can link together and I can get a waypoint at my console and then come up to my graph and have it be up on my on the bow is pretty amazing to me. So all we're going to do, we're going to hook red to red, black to black in the boat here, and that'll give us our power connection. Easy. That one will be done. I'm going to just plug in the transducer for now and not do the mounting. It's getting late and I got to go to work. So we're going to get the power hooked up. We're going to hook up the cables and run them and put this panel back on, and I'll finish the transducer tomorrow. Splitter for your side and down view. Plug into the back of your graph. This plastic piece comes disassembled. You basically just cut it and put it on around the transducer end, and then you can put them together. Okay, so push them together like so. Gets a good tight connection. Okay, so I've ran wires up the trolling motor. I've given myself a little bit to play with tomorrow. I can always just tuck it back in when I'm done. I'm just going to put our extra wires neatly down in here. Save the cable tie. Just going to twist that up. Now we're good to plug in the graph and make sure she's going to work. Alright guys, moment of truth. Oh yeah. There she is. We can just go through our checks here. United States, English. Turn on the store demo for a second. Let's do that. Sure. No shallow water alarm. Alright, there's that. So, traditional sonar. Nice. Clear view. Nice. Side view. Oh yeah. So much better pictures off of the Garmin's that I've found than any other. Lowrance is pretty good too, but when I had Garmin's before, I've had all three now, and my favorite by far is the Garmin picture. So there you go, she works. We'll finish up the install tomorrow. I'll show you how to do the transducer and get it just right and level and making sure it's in a good spot, and we'll be done with it. Alright guys, back on day 2, finishing up the install of the new Garmin. What's left is mounting the transducer, and I think this is where a lot of people have problems when they are not liking what they see on their screens. You have to make sure that transducer is pointing basically straight down when your boat's in the water, and that's hard to do. Sometimes you get out there and put a level on the boat and shim it with washers or something to find out where level is on your boat. But for me, what I did last time I went to the muddy lake, knowing that this was going to be a thing, I left my mud line on the boat. You can see that. So now I know exactly where my boat sits level from front to back. And you also want to make sure it's level side to side. You want to make sure this transducer is pointing as straight down as humanly possible to get the best returns. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to level up the boat front to back and side to side. I actually don't have a jack. I'm just going to let some air onto my tires and let that be the way to get it done. So I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done leveling the boat, and we'll move forward to the transducer. Okay guys, we got the boat all leveled out, got the trolling motor down. Next thing we have to do is attach the trolling motor mount piece to the transducer itself. So you got your wire in there, comes out the side. Make sure you pick the correct side. I like mine to come to the outside of the trolling motor. I'll show you that in a minute. And then there's just 7 screws you got to put in to attach it. So we're going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay guys, as you can see here, I've got the transducer on the trolling motor with the hose clamp. The hose clamp can go through any of these slots here. I've put mine slightly forward to where it will put it right up just behind the built-in on the trolling motor. Now what I'm going to try to do is level this out front to back and side to side, so that I'm going as straight down as possible. You can have, it might be tricky just due to the fact that the trolling motor is going to come down at an angle no matter what, and I may shim the transducer a little bit to get it where it just slightly is perfectly level or slightly points forward of the boat instead of under the boat, so that way when I'm fishing vertically, you know, your rod tip sticks out the front of the boat, not under the boat. So makes it a little easier to pick up your spoon or whatever you're doing underneath it. So that's next. We're gonna level out the transducer to the best of our abilities. Okay guys, again we double check level on the boat so that we can do this part. Now I ran a level across the parts here of the built-in transducer. It is not level, it's slightly this direction. It's going to point in that way. So now all I'm trying to do, because I can't get a level really on here, it's not a flat surface, I'm basically eyeballing it the best I can to be pointing perfectly straight down, and I think right now it's going a little bit this way. So all I'm going to do is straighten that out. I haven't thought of a good way to shim it yet, so I'm probably just going to roll with it, but this transducer is going to point backwards a little bit, not out in front like I like. When I do go to change that, I'll definitely let you guys know. So I'm going to get this transducer lined up and put on there solid, and then we'll run the wire. Alright guys, along the shaft here, I'm going to tape in 4 or 5 spots, and then up here I'll use the zip ties they gave with me, or gave me with the trolling motor, to attach to the frame of the mount, and then we'll stuff all this cord back in and we'll be done. So that's what we're going to do next. Make sure when you're running your transducer cable, guys, that you pay attention to any pinch points that your cable could get caught in and get cut. You want to avoid those. Okay guys, when you get up to the head, you're going to have to make some sort of loop around here so that as your trolling motor spins, you do not end up with, you know, pulling on your cable and ripping it out. So we're going to give ourselves a little loop. I actually find it easier to do this when the trolling motor is down for whatever reason. So I'm going to put it down and do it that way. I was trying to get it on video for you, but I'll show you that part when it's done. Alright guys, so if we look, I got a little loop up here for the cable. It can just do its thing. Doesn't have to be anything pretty, just has to work. I might actually put one more cable tie, the last one up here at the top. Real quick, I'm going to put one more here. But that's it. I mean, you see it comes up the side, attaches to the mount here, and then when I stow it, I'll put the cables in far enough to where when it's stowed, it's got enough, and I'll just make sure we're good without any extra hanging out. And that's it, guys. That's the extent of it. I know it took me a little bit longer, more so because I'm doing a video and I'm working and stuff, but this is a couple-hour job, maybe at tops, especially if you're not flush mounting. It'll make it even easier. So I'll get some pictures, video screenshots of what this graph looks like once I get it back out on the water, so you guys can kind of make a decision if you like it or not. So thanks again for checking it out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share these videos if you like them with all your friends. So that's it for today, guys, and we'll get up with you next time. Thanks for watching.